Okay, everybody, one last problem. So far, so good. We've already worked on item number 9. Ito pala, I forgot to tell you pala about item number 9. Diba, remember, sabi ko dito, after each day of devotional, she concluded with a prayer. After the prayer, she hopes that God's blessings will fulfill her. Find the probability that this can happen such that it should happen at least 80% of the month. Ahem. So, diba, remember, we've already worked on the rational equations. We're already done. Now, we need to find out how much it will happen for at least 80% of the month. At ito yung kailangan ko gagawin. We need to sum it up. Kaya that's why nga I did it this way. Diba, remember, this is the probabilities, diba? So, I did it this way. Probability of success, common of 30, then 80%, at least 80% of the month. And that's for 24 days, diba? Starting from here. And then it should last until here. Then we sum up to get 1. Kaya ang solution namin ay ito. Ito yung solution ko. See this? Yan. And then that's what we need to sum up in order for us to get the answer. So yun ang dapat sagot namin. Gets? And then this one, this is our conclusion. What is the histogram that we can safely conclude based on the criteria? And what conclusion can we make? Based on the histogram, there's a most likely chance of God's blessing fulfilling Achi Stephanie for all the days within the month. You want to see the histogram? This is where I made the histogram. Ayan. So here's the histogram that I completely made. Ito yun. So diba remember this is the histogram that I made, diba? It somehow resembles like as if it were a normal distribution. Pero the one that's higher is from 24 to 29. So mas mataas pa yan. Kaya nga, yes, this is somewhat like a normal distribution. So, yan. Okay? Now, we already solved for the probabilities. Now, we can already move on to item number 10. At tingin mo, most likely talaga it will happen. So, now, let's go to item number 10. Are you with me? Then, let's go! Last item! Here we go! So, now, let's start with letter A. Diba, remember, dito siya. My dad and I went to attend a Christmas party. So here's the last one. So we attended a Christmas party together with my dad. And letter A, the host of the Christmas party invited 40 guests to come and join. Find the probability that more than 78% of them are invited. Take note that the probability of a guest will be invited is this. The probability of success is V divided by V plus 9. And then the probability of failure is V plus 10 divided by 5V minus 7. So, here's how I did it. First, we know that this implies rational equations. Kasi nga, P plus Q equals 1. Tama? And we need more than 78% of them to be invited. So, what we do? Ganito kasi yung ginawa ko. First, I did it this way. If we need all 40 guests to join the party, so therefore, we have 100%. And we need more than 78% of them to join. So, there are 40 guests and we need to multiply so we get 31.2. Pero we need to have a whole number because we can't have a semi-person. So, therefore, we need 32 people. So, dapat ang kailangan namin at least 32 people who will join. Now, let's solve for the rational equation. So, ito yung rational equation na ginawa ko. You see the one in green, that stands for the probability of success. And the one in red stands for the probability of failure. Tama? And now, we need to solve for V. Pero how do we do that? First, we need to determine what is the LCD. And the LCD is right here. V plus 9 times 5V minus 7. Doing that, negative 7 times 9 to give you negative 63. Negative 7 times V, negative 7V. 5 times 9 to give you 45V. 5V times V is 5V squared. Then we sum everything up to get this answer. 5V squared plus 38V minus 63. Now, we can now solve for the rational equation. So so that's our LCD. Whatever is the same, we can cross it out. Like in the green one, we have V plus 9, so we cross out the V plus 9s. Then on the red ones, we have 5V minus 7, and they cancel out. And then from there, on the right-hand side, you get this answer, because it's just 1. Now, all we have to do is to just distribute. So V plus times 5V is 5V squared. Just like that. And then V times 7 equals 7V. Negative 7V. And then this one, we apply the folding method. V squared, 10V, 9V, 90. So therefore, that's V squared plus 19V plus 90. Diba? And then here we have 5V squared plus 38V minus 63. Tama? Now we get to combine like terms. However, look at this. The two 5V squares here can cancel out because they even out with each other. Next, we look at the V's where we can combine like terms. Negative 7 plus 19 equals positive 12. So we can combine like terms. So now we have V squared plus 12V plus 90. On the right hand side, we have 38V minus 63. Now we need to shift them to the other side in order that the right side can become 0. So adding negative 38V on both sides, therefore negative 38 plus 12 equals negative 26. Tama? And then on the right side, negative 63 plus positive 63 cancels out, and 90 plus 63 is 153. And now we have V squared plus negative 26V plus 153. And now we're to a two-step equation, quadratic equation. So we make the cross right over here, and we have 153. What two numbers that you can multiply together to give you 153, and that add to give you negative 26? We know that 17 and 9 makes 153. Pero do they add up to 26? Yes, they do. Because negative 7 times negative 9 to give you positive 153. 17 times 9 is 153. Negative times negative is positive. Tama? And then negative plus negative to give you negative. Negative 17 plus negative 9 equals negative 26. And therefore, that's the answer. Diba? And then from there, all we have to do is to simplify if this is correct. So now we can simplify it like this. I can simplify by writing negative 20. So therefore, V equals 17 or V equals 9. And then I simplify it like this. Then I simplified it through factoring. Dividing both sides by V. And then we get, ano yun? V minus 9. On this side, dividing by negative 17. And then we get negative, and then 17, V minus 9. So V minus 17 and V minus 9. Those are the answers. And to check if we're correct, let's see V were 17. Ito kasi yun. Diba? We get this 17 divided by 17 plus 9, 26. And then 17 plus 20, 27. 5 times 17 to give you 85 minus 7 to give you 78. Then apply LCD. So this one we get times 3 to give you 78. Then 51 plus 78 equals 78. So tama, we get 78 over 78, which is correct. If we try 9, and then becomes 9 over 18. This one becomes 19, and then this becomes 38. Or we can just play LCD, just like that, 2 times 9 to give you 18, and 18 times 19 to give you 342. And then when we do that, remember, this is 9 times 2. So times 19. So 9 times 19 is 171. Then this one times 9. So 38 times 9 to give you 942. 19 times 9 is 171. Add them both together, you get 342. Or just simply simplify the fraction, making 1 half times 1 plus 1 half becomes 2 halves, and that becomes a check. Tama? So yan. Now to double check on our solution sheet in Microsoft Excel, ito kasi yung ginawa ko. So yan, we have this one. If x were 17, diba? So if x were 17, this is exactly what the answer will be. For success, we have 17. Tama, we have 17 on the numerator, then 26 on the denominator, and for failures, 27, and then 78. Then we apply LCD. 51, 78, and then it makes a match. 17 plus 51 to give you 78, 20, and then you keep the denominator just like that, and then we divide to get the probability of success and the probability of failure. And then our answer is correct. If this one divides this one, it's equivalent to the probability of success, and if it's correct, we get it right. And then this one, we sum this up to see if we get 1. And we got it right. Now, let's try naman kung probability of failure if we use x equals 9. Okay, if x were 9, we still get the same thing, diba? So, success, that's 9. And then 9 plus 9 equals 18. Then that becomes 19 and 38. And then we get the LCD. So, our LCD is 342. And we get 171. 171. And then we get the answer of 342 divided by 342. Now, to verify if this is correct, we do this if formula. Then if this one divides by this one, equals the sum of these two, 0.5 and 0.5. Correct. If correct, we type correct. If not, try again. Did we get it right? We get correct. So therefore, that's the right answer. Pero if we were to do x minus 9, that is ano yun, that's most like, that is average. So kailangan namin dapat yung ano yun, yung probability outcome. So dapat dito tayo. Sa ano yun, dito. Sa x equals 17. Kasi if x were 9, that is just a most likely outcome. Halfway there. But it's either way which one you are gonna use. Pero I want to use this way. Okay? You will see why. Next, let's go to the next item. Wait, before that, kasi nga remember, sabi ko dito, dapat at least 32. So, at least 32 of them were to join the party. So, this is the experiment, the binomial experiment that I did. So, ang formula ko dito ay the product of combination of 8377. Where is that? Yan, it's right there, di ba? And then C0. And then the probability of success raised to the 0th power. Then the probability of failure raised to the 40 minus 0 power, and we get this answer. Then we keep on dragging until we can reach 1. And then that's our answer, di ba? Pero ang kailangan namin more than 32. Kasi hindi ba remember, sabi dito, at least 78% of the people will join. So kailangan namin more than 32. So this is what I did. Ang ginawa ko dito, sinam ko lahat from 32 to 40. And that's our answer. So our answer is 3.38%. Tama? Pero if it were most likely, of course, that will have to be a different answer. Okay? And then letter B, what is the conclusion? Name 2 conclusions that you can conclude. That's my question, di ba? What are the conclusions that you can conclude? Like on the graph, we say that the most expected number of guests who will come to the party is from 24 to 30 people. The graph really looks like an expected normal distribution. To see what I mean, ito kasi yung normal distribution na ginawa ko. Yes, so if you look from 0 to 18, not that much. Pero if it comes to 21, 22, 23, 24, tiyo mo, tumaas na, di ba? If you look at the graph, ang 24 na talaga yung mas tumaas. Hanggang sa 30. Tapos comes to 28, 29, 30, they start to slow down na hanggang 40. So yun, that's it. That's the conclusion I can say. Next, letter C. Sabi ko dito, for this item, for letter C to F, we are sitting on different tables with the other guests. Note that there are 6,724,520 ways to seat the groups. Refer to the table for the questions. Ayan, so here are the questions there are. So first, we need to get the total. Kasi nga sabi dito, there are 6,724,520 ways to arrange the groups. And we need to know how many arrangements or possible arrangements are there. So, ang kailangan namin ay combination. Diba? And diba remember, we are given the number of people who will be in the party. Pero, ang kailangan namin, we need to know how many people are there sitting in one table. Kasi diba remember, kapag nasa party ka, diba there are tables, diba? And the waiter will let us sit onto one table. Just like that. It depends on how we can arrange that. Diba? So we are how many? Because there are 21 males and 14 females, so we make equivalents of 35. Tama? So 35 of that, and then from there, we get to, that is our N, our population. So ganito kasi yun. Diba remember ang N, remember the formula NCR? This is how it goes. Diba remember this your N, diba? Wait lang po. Okay, so yung N ay 35. Tama? Then yung R, we don't know. Pero the total number of ways is 66,724,520 ways. Okay? Now, let's apply the formula. Diba remember the formula for combination is we have 35 factorial. So 35 factorial is right over here. Divide by the 35 minus r factorial. We do not know what r is. Then times the r factorial, which will give us the equivalence of 6,724,520 ways. Alright? So what do we do? Diba remember, what did I tell you? The first thing you need to do is to bring this side to the other. So ganito kasi yun. So diba remember, you have 35 factorial on this side, and then we're just left with 6,724,520 ways times 35 minus r factorial times the r factorial. Tama? Pero we need to let the r variable stay all by itself to the right. So ang kailangan namin gagawin ay i-divide. So we need to divide both sides by this answer. 6,700,520 ways. Diba? So this one cancels, and then we're just left with this answer. So now we have 35 factorial divided by 6,724,520 ways. Tama? And then that's all equivalent to our 35 minus r factorial times r factorial. Remember what did I tell you? Kailangan namin itong dalawa ay mag-match. So we need to divide by the factorials. So first, let's find the factors of 6,720,000 ways. So we need to write that in factorial notation. And doing that, we're supposed to do it like this. Diba remember, we wrote it this way. So we have 35. So we have this one. 6,724,520 ways. Tama? Did we get that one right? Yes. And then from there, we need to divide by 35. But that can't be. So we need to divide this by 34. And when we do that, we get this. Diba? So this is 34. Now let's try dividing it by 33. Oh, that's too much. So therefore, hindi pwede by 33. Alright? Or let me write it down na lang for you. Kasi po, diba remember, we have 35. So therefore, this becomes 35 times 34 factorial times 33 factorial divided by this answer, which is 6,724,520. This one will cancel because you know naman talaga, we now have already 35 times 33 factorial divided by 19,780. Tama? Kasi nga, diba, remember, we already divided now the 34. The 34 already cancels out. So now let's try dividing it by 30. 35 times 33 times 32 times 31. How about let's try 32? So let's try to divide this by 32. Oh, we still get a different answer. Kasi ang kailangan namin, dapat hindi siya nakadesimal. Kasi kung nakadesimal siya, therefore, this is the wrong answer. So, kailangan namin, but I know naman the correct answer is, there are 35 guests involved in the party. So, kailangan namin ay 35. Kasi nga, diba, remember, there are 35 guests. So, 35C7. Right now, I'm just gonna show you the solution. So, diba, remember, we need to divide. So, we still need to divide. Let's try 10. Kasi nga, we need to divide this by 10, diba? Or let's try this one. 1 plus 7 plus 8 equals 16. 9 plus, ano yun? 7 plus 8. 9 plus 7, 16. So let's try dividing that number by 11. So when we do that, diba, remember, we try to divide this number by 11. Kasi nga this one is 17 times 2. So let's try 11. Yes, so this one we tried 11. And when we do that, that's already 33. Diba? And now we have this one. 19,000, 70,980. Diba? Pero we still have the 35 times 34 times 33, 32, 31. Yeah, kasi nga 11, that's the same as 11 times 3. So this one cancels and we're just left with, ano to? 3, diba? 35 times 3 times 32 factorial. So how about let's try dividing it by 8. Let's try. Or let's trying to divide this by 4. Yes, this one we got 4. So therefore, we get 4. Diba, remember, this one becomes, ano to? 8 times 4. So when we divide this by 4, of course, we have 35 times 3 times 8. Diba? 35 times 3 times 8. And then divide by our answer here. So now we have 4495. Then times 31 factorial. Then times 30. Tama? Let's try dividing this number by 31. Let's see if this works. This one divided by 31. We get, yes, correct. We get 145. So therefore, we have once again, we have 35 times 3 times 8 times this 30 factorial. The 31 cancels, so therefore this becomes 145. Now, for 145, this one's kind of easy now. Because we know that 145 is 29 times 5. So therefore, we have 7 times 5 times 3 times 8 times 30 times 29 times 28 factorial. And then all divide by 145. Therefore, this 145 cancels out to 21, 29, and 5. So therefore, what we have left is 30 times 3 times 8 times 7. Diba? And then times that 28 factorial here. So now let's see. So that's the right first answer. We're supposed to get 28 factorial in this scenario. 28 factorial, which is on the left. Now, let's simplify the numbers. So this 30 here becomes, ano to? This 30 over here becomes 6 times 5. This one is 3. This one is 4 times 2. Hey, that makes sense. So therefore, now we have 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 and times 2. So that makes a match. So tama, that's it. So therefore, that's the right answer, 28 factorial. And now we already know what is the combination. So therefore, there are 7 guests in one table. So, what is the conclusion? 7 guests yan. 7 guests in one table. Now we can already solve for the following. So therefore, this is confirmed. Combination 35C7 equals 60,724,520 ways. And that's the answer. Now let's solve for the problem. Now we can solve the practice problems here. Before that, let's also work on the items in letter C. Kasi nga, diba, remember, dapat we're supposed to have 21 males. So how many males are there? So we need to have 21. So how do we solve for the one last? Ang kailangan namin ay 2 plus 4 plus 5 to give you, diba, 9 and 11, and then subtract that from 21 to give you 10. On the girls, on the other hand, diba, remember, we have 2 missing. So you have 14 minus 9 to give us 5. 5 minus 1 to give us 4. Then divide by both sides so that because they're even, so therefore we get 2. So yan. Now we can solve for the following. So for letter C, ang tanong ko dito ay, find the probability that 3 males, 3 male adults, and 3 senior citizens are in one table. So for this matter, di ba remember we need 3 male adults. So ito kasi yun. So ilang yung mga male adults dito? There are 10 out of 35 male adults. Then the second one, there are 9 and paired because 1 is already selected. So therefore, we have 34 na lang. And then 3 is 8 over 33. Tama? Just like the solution sheet that I wrote here, this is the answer, di ba? And then for the senior citizen, ang sabi ko dito, we need to have, 3 senior citizens. Ilan yung mga senior citizens dito altogether? So we have 7. So 7 times 7 over 32, 6 over 31, di ba? I put there first person, second person, third person, fourth person, and then fifth person, and sixth person. Then yung 7 kahit ano. And then from there, we multiply everything all together, and this should be our answer. 0.01294, which is the same as this one. Yes, di ba? It's 0.0129%. That is the answer. Alright? Next, so this is a bit tricky. Kasi I segregate this one. It's already this one. The black is for the males adults, and the right is for the senior citizens. And then for the last guess, it can be any guess whom you like. Next, letter D. Same as letter C, but at least 3 teenagers, 2 adults, and 1 kid is in that table. Ganito kasi yun. First, let's work out the 2 adults first. Kasi nga, diba, remember, there are 19 adults, and we need only 2 of them. So therefore, the solution is 19 over 35, because 10 plus 9 equals 19. Diba? And because 1 adult has already been selected, so therefore, there's only 8 over 34 adults na lang. And then for 1 kid, kasi nga there are 3 kids, so 3 kids. Diba? And then, diba, remember, it says there, at least 3 teenagers. So therefore, we have 2 male adults, 2 adults, 1 kid. Now, we need either 3 or 4 teenagers, depending on the situation. So this is exactly what we're going to do now. Ito na yung solution sheet na ginawa ko. So therefore, ito yung mga adults, diba? And then these are the kids. And for the teens, it can be 3 or 4. So if it were 3, this will be the solution. So you have to multiply this one first, and then this answer that we get here times the probability of getting 3 teenagers, and then this one times the probability of getting 4 teenagers, and then whatever answer we get from both, we sum everything up. Just like that. Let me show you. Diba, remember ito yung solution sheet ko sa letter D. So we have here the first adult, which is 19 over 35, then 18 over 34, then 3 over 33. Then multiply everything all together, we get 0.26126%. Now for the teenagers, diba, remember, ilan yung mga teenagers na nasa listahan? And they are 6. Tama. Pero how many more guests are we still gonna collect? 4 more na lang. Kasi nga, diba, remember, there are 7 members in 1 table. But since 3 guests have already been selected, so therefore, all we need na lang is 3 teenagers. So this is what we're gonna do. So we made the hypergeometric probability distribution table, and we have 0 to 4. And then we need, there are 6 teenagers, so 6C, 0, and then times how many other guests whom we need to get, and they are 36, 26 na lang. Kasi ang total namin ay 32. Diba? So this is exactly what I'm gonna do. Diba? So that's 41, and this is the combination. 6C0, and then we have 26, and then C0, and then 32C4. And this should be the answer that you're supposed to be getting. And then from there, we sum everything up, and we should get this answer of 1. Tama? And then we need to get is the 3 and the 4. Now we need to get the final answer. So to do that, remember our answer that we got kanina, which is the one when we get all the probabilities when we multiply this for the first condition. And then when we do the combination such that we get 3 teens, which is this one. So multiplied by this one. And then with 4 teens, diba? Same. We multiply with 4. And then from there, we sum everything up. Sum up our final answers here, and we should get 0.00038%, which is C right over there. Yun ang tamang sagot. It might be a bit complex if you were to type everything all together, because you may not yield up with the same answer. Pero as we do the solution sheet that you see here, it does make sense. Okay? Next, letter E. Ang sabi ko dito naman, what did I say here? If we were sat, find the probability that 2 other adults, 1 senior citizen, and a teen of each gender are in that table. Ayan, this one's a bit tricky. Kasi nga naman, remember, me and my dad are already sat. So we need the other adults, 2 other adults, 1 senior citizen, and a teen and of each gender are sat. Yeah, I think this could be kind of tricky. Kasi but this is what we're gonna do. So we have 7 people. Diba? So diba, remember, this is me and this is my dad. Tapos for the third, diba, remember, this is for the male adult. 2 other adults. And since there are 19 adults, so therefore it's 19 over 35 times 18 over 34. And then for the fifth one, there are, 1 senior citizen. Since there are 7, so therefore we have 7 out of 33. and then one teenager of each gender. So therefore, this should be 4 over 32 for the males, and this one should be 2 over 32, 2 over 31 for the females. Diba? So yan, that should be the right answer. And then from there, we have to do the solution. This is the correct solution. So therefore, this should be, ano to? 4 out of 32 times 6 over 31. At yun ang dapat yung sagot, 0.15. So dapat this should be correct. Bakit try again? Gets ko na kasi po I said it's 6 over 31. So kailangan nabit 2. Yan. And that's 0.05%. And with that, we get correct. Yan, di ba? Kasi the if formula tells us if it's equivalent to each other to our answer, it is correct. We type correct to verify it's true. Kung mali, we try again. Pero since we got it wrong, that's why it says try again. But now we got it right, so it's correct. Yan. And now for letter F, ito na yun. Same as letter E. But this time, at least 4 females are sitting with us. That means me and my dad will sit, pero at least 4 of the females will join us. So ilan yung mga females dito? There are 14, di ba? So now we apply the probability. So therefore, we have the combination of this one. So the combination of success, which is 14 C0, and that's why naka-lock because we need to lock that cell. That should serve as the reference. Times the combination of failure, which is the males, then times the 5 minus 1. Diba? And then combination 5C, whatever. And we should get this answer. Then from there, we sum everything up to get the right answer. At ang kailangan naman dapat more than 4. So this is what we're gonna do. Yan. So it's the sum of these two. Let me show you. Yan, just like that. And that's exactly our answer. 7.09%. Next, letter G. In this scenario naman, in a game of Bring Me, there are 10 rounds. Find the probability that at least 6 male students brought the correct item. Male adults brought the correct item. Yan. So, di ba remember in this one, sa Bring Me, there are 10 rounds. So, ang kailangan namin, dapat 6 male adults will do it. Excluding us. So, this is the solution that we did. It's very easy. Di ba remember, ang ginawa ko dito ay this one, combination of 10 C0, and then how many males are there? There are 10 male adults out of 35 adults. And then the probability of failure, we have 25 other guests. And then raise it at 10 minus 0th power. Then from there, we drag everything up, just like that, di ba? Yan, di ba? And then that becomes 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Tama? Hanggang dito. And then our answer is 1. Pero kailangan dapat more than 6. So, ang ginawa ko dito, ito yun. See my solution in letter G? I just did this, the sum of this one. Kaya that's why nga Microsoft Excel is much more faster and quicker eh. Para we can compute more quicker. At yun na talaga yung sagot. Yun. And then when we sum everything up, we get the right answer. Yan, di ba? Next, letter H. Sabi ko dito, same as letter G, but find the probability that me or my dad will win before the 5th round. And that is a geometric probability distribution table. So therefore, for the first try, this time there are 37 guests. So therefore, the others will win first, and then yun nga, we will. And this one, they did it once, and then we get it on the second try. Then on the third, and then the fourth, and on the fifth. Then excess. So therefore, 1 minus this one, and we get 0.80%. Yes, and that's 19%. So therefore, there's a 19% chance that we will get it right on the 5th try. Yan, di ba? Kasi ang sabi ko dito, before the 5th round. So it's from the 0th to the 4th round. Yan, and that's our answer. So, ang ginawa ko dito, geometric probability distribution table. And then sum. Sum of everything to get the answer. Yun lang. Next, for letter I, sabi ko dito, in a buffet area, di ba remember kapag kumain kayo, saan yun? Sa party. Di ba remember if you eat in a buffet area, there's lots of food. And if it's already eating time, an average of 10 people serve themselves with food every 2 minutes. Find the probability that more than 50 of them will serve themselves with food after after 5 minutes. So, di ba remember in this one, we have to apply the ratio and proportion. So, for this particular matter, di ba remember, we have 1, 2 people, 10 people worth 2 minutes. Pero dapat it says more than 50 of them, kasi nga 50 people, 5 minutes. So, dapat for 5 minutes, we need how many more people? 25. Diba? Kasi 5 divided by 2 is 5 halves, and then 5 halves times 10. Because 5 divided by 2, then times 10, 5 times 10 is 50. Divided by 2 is 25. So, tama nga, we need 25 people, and that will be our new mean. So, yan. So, dapat, this is what we're gonna do. 1 minus Poisson distribution, 50, and then 25, then true, to give us the answer. Now, to show you my solution sheet, ito yung ginawa ko. Diba? Then we get 25, then false. Then drag everything up to 50 for continuous. Then sum everything up to get the total, and then minus it from 1 to get the excess. And then we get 0.00335%. That's it. Diba? Next, letter J. Same as letter I, but only 3 people serve themselves with food in 2 minutes. Yeah, kasi nga 3 people serve themselves with food in 2 minutes. Therefore, after 2 minutes, 3 people serve themselves with food. So, ganito kasi yun. Diba remember, our mean is 2 minutes. And then, we have 10 people. So, here's what we're gonna do. So, our solution is Poisson distribution. Diba, there are 10 people, diba? An average of 10 people. And then, we want 3. And then, we want false because we want the exact amount. And that's 0.76%. Because let's say, for example, kapag nabusog na, and then yung nga, they only few na lang will get. It depends upon the people kung nabusog na sila, di ba? So, yan. And then for letter K, ito na yung challenge. Another set of rational equations. So, here we have another set of rational equations. Because in the exchange gift criteria, the best gifts will be given to any recipient on the 13th gift, and so on. Find the probability that we'll be lucky enough to get it. The probability of getting the best gift will be in this equation. And for the failure, it's like this. So now you have to work on another probability distribution table. So here's my another rational equation. So here's my solution. So 3p minus 13 divided by 5 times 3p plus 10. On the failure, we have 12 times p divided by 2 times 10p minus 1. So what do you think is the LCD? The LCD is 5 times 3p plus 10 times 2p and 7 times 1 minus 1. Tama. And then when we play the game with LCDs, we get this answer. Diba? So we simplify this one, and we should get negative 10, then 3 negative 3p, then negative 10p, then 21p squared. And then we have 5 times 2 to give you 10, and then we distribute the 10, 210p squared, then 670, then minus 100. Tama? And then from there, we get to multiply. That is our LCD. Diba? On the right side. Now we try to multiply everything on the left side. So on the left side, we have this. 5 times 3p plus 10. They cancel out, and we still have 2 times 7p minus 1. Diba? And on the right hand side, the 2 times 7p plus 1 minus 1, we divide by this one, and we should get this answer. Now we try to distribute. So 2 times 7p is 14p. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Then 3p minus 13, diba? And then 12p times 5 equals 60p. Then, diba remember 3p plus 10. Now, all we need to do is to distribute. So for the first one, we applied the Poynting method. And this is how I did the Poynting method, as you can see here, di ba? 14 times 3 becomes 42p squared. Negative 2 times 3 becomes negative 6. Negative 13 times positive 14 is negative 182. Ito yun, di ba? Negative 182, and that becomes negative 6. Sum up together, we get negative 188. Then negative 2 times negative 13 becomes 26. Positive 26. And then on the probability of failure, 60p times 3p to give you 180p squared. 60p times 10p to give us 610p. Then we still have our answer on the right side. Now we combine like terms. So 42p plus 180p, that becomes 222p, which is in violet. And then we have negative 188p plus 600p. Of course, that's 600 minus 188, and that would become 488. Diba? No, 182 na pala. Tama ba? Yes, diba? Pero I think I remember during that time, yes, 412. Kasi nga remember, this is, ano to? Negative 188, and then this is 60. 600. So, this becomes 4, then 1, then 2 pattern. So, yun yung sagot. And then, plus 26, diba? Then, on the right-hand side, we have 210p squared, then 670p minus 100. Now, all we need to do is to bring everything to the other side. So, we need to subtract both sides by 210p squared, and then we need to subtract both sides by 670p, and then we need to add 100 on both sides, and we should get 0. Now, we should come up with this answer. 12p squared minus 258p plus 126. But hang on. Can this be factored? Yes. We can factor this out by dividing by 6. How do you know that they're divisible by 6? Kasi nga, the divisibility rule of 6 is divisible by 3 and by 2. We know that 12 is divisible by 2. Pero is it divisible by 3? Yes, it is. Halatang halata. Because the divisibility rule of 3 is to sum of the digits and see if the summation of all the digits of that number can be divisible by 3. Like 2 plus 5 equals 7. 7 plus 8 equals 15. So that is divisible by 3. And it's an even number as well. So divide by 6. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. Then 6 is 9. So divide by 6. So tama. And we do that, we get 2p squared minus 43 plus 21. Diba? That is our answer. Now we apply the AC method and then try to get what B is. So 2 times 21 to give us 42. And then what two numbers that multiply together to give you positive 42 and add to give you negative 43? Of course, that's negative 42 and negative 1. Tama? Negative 42 times 1 times negative 1 to give you positive 42. Negative 42 plus negative 1 equals negative 43. And now we factor. So now we have 2b squared minus 43p plus 21. Ito yung solution sheet na ginawa ko. Diba? And now we factor. Dividing both sides by 2p, therefore we have p minus 21. Of course, 2p times p to give you 2p squared, then 2p times negative 21 to give you negative 42p. And then we have 1 negative p plus 21. Dividing both sides by negative 1, so negative 1 times p to give you negative p. And then negative 1 times negative 21 to give us positive 21. We need to ensure that these should be identical in order that they are correct. Tama? Or you can apply the divide and slide method. So if you have something like this, so therefore we have p minus 42, p minus 1. Pero, di ba remember we multiply by 2. So therefore this becomes p minus 21. This becomes 2p minus 1. If you were to FOIL this, di ba remember p minus 1, 2p minus 21. This becomes positive 21, negative 21p. This becomes, ano yun? Tama ba? It's 2p. Diba? Teka lang ha. Diba remember 2p? This is negative 21. So this becomes positive 21. This becomes negative 21p, diba? Negative 21p. Then this one becomes negative 2p. Diba? Tama, that becomes negative 23p. Negative 23p. That's 21. And this becomes 2p squared. Teka, malabo. Kasi nga, I don't think that's supposed to be the right answer. Sige, try ko ulit. Kasi diba remember, p times 1. Gets ko na. That's supposed to be 2p minus 1. 2p minus 1 pala yun. Then p minus 21. So, dapat this is supposed to be 21. This one to give us negative 42p. This one to give us negative p. Then 2p squared. So, when we sum this up together, we should get 2p squared minus 43p plus 21. So, tama, that is correct. Diba? So, yun. And now, we get the answer of p is 21 or p is 1/2. Kaya, let's see the solution sheet that I made in the rational equations. Ito na yung solution sheet na ginawa ko. If k were 1/2, this is exactly what it will go. Of course, if that were so, diba, this would be negative 11.5, and then the denominator were 3 times 0.5 minus 13, that's negative 11.5. Then this one, 57.55, 3 times 0.5 becomes, 1.5 plus 10. And that becomes 57.5. Dividing that together, you get negative 0.2. And then for probability of failure, yes, that's more than 1. So therefore, we can't use this as a probability distribution table. Although, the formula is correct. Diba? Kaya nga, that's why nga, this is not a probability distribution table. This is not exactly to what we're simply referring to. Okay? So, hindi siya dito. Pero although we're just doing this just to double check if this is correct. Diba? So, yan. So, that's exactly what you're trying to get. So, therefore, that's not the right answer. And then, if we get the LCD of the success, ito na yun. So, therefore, that's supposed to be 11.5. 57.5. So, yan, di ba? Yan, that's not the right answer. Kasi po, this one is the right, this is already correct. And kahit na we try the if formula, this is correct. Pero what you call this, ito na yung problema. This is not a probability distribution. Kasi nga, one of the probabilities is more than 1. So, hindi pwede. So, let's try if x were 21. If x were 21, of course, for the success, we have 50. 3 times 21 to give us 63 minus 13 to give us 50. For the success, for the failure, we have, 5. 3 times 21 to give us, 63 plus 10 to give us 73. And times 5 is 365. Just like one year, diba? How many days in 1 year? And then this one, 12 times 21 to give us 252, diba? And then 7 times 21 to give us 147 minus 1 is 146. And times 2, 292. Diba? And then to get the LCD of the success, we tried multiplying it by 73 and 4 times 5. Because, diba, factors of 365 is 73 and 5 and 73 and 4. So LCD is 73 times 4 times 5 to give us 1,460. And then we multiply that by 4 to get the answer. Then multiplying this by 5 to get the answer din. And then when we divide to get the probabilities. For the success, it's 0.13. And for the failure, it's 0.86. And then to double check. Then if formula. If this one divides by this one equals 1. And if the sum equals 1. If it's correct, correct. If false, try again. And it's correct. So tama, we are correct. Now we can go now to the probability distribution table. So for the probability distribution table, we have this. So ito na kailangan ginawa namin. So we use the probability of success in this scenario. Tama? But this geometric probability distribution table. Kasi ang kailangan dapat on the 13 give and so on. So we know the formula, q minus, raised to the n minus 1 power times p. So that's our failure, di ba? 0.86. Raised to the 1 minus 1 and then times this 1 to give us 0. Then we try the same formula again. Then we drag it over until we reach the 13. Then we sum everything up all together and we should get this. Then 1 minus our sum to give us the excess, which is farther away. And that's 14.73%. And that is our answer here. Yan, di ba? And then, that's our final answer. Now, for letter L, and the last but not least, name at least 3 conclusions that you can make after the party is over. So what can you conclude? What are the conclusions? Like for letter number 1, for the ladies in their sitting arrangements who might join us, most likely 3 of them can join us. Bakit ganito? Ito kasi yung histogram na ginawa ko. So, di ba, remember, this is our histogram for letter F, di ba? So, from 0 to 5, and then this is our histogram, di ba? So, there's most likely that, kasi nga our data here is wrong. So, ang kailangan natin, we need to change the data. So, for this one, it's supposed to be from 0 to 5. Yan, di ba? So, yan. So, most likely, 2 ladies will join us in our table. Di ba? If you look at the histogram, di ba? And then number 2, in a game of Bring Me, if the male adults were to win prizes, most likely 3 of them will competitively. Yan. So, here's the histogram that I made sa letter G. Ito na yung histogram na ginawa ko. Diba? This is letter G, diba? And there are 10, diba? So, for 9 and 10, wala. Less likely na yun. Pero for the second and the third, most likely talaga yun. So, yes, it does look like a normal distribution. And then for the last one, in the best gift awardee, if we were to wait until the 14 prize or higher, there will be a less likely chance for it to occur just by looking at it at the geometric probability distribution table. Yes, and our solution is right here. Ito kasi yung Poisson distribution na ginawa ko sa letter I. You see, our mean is 25, and therefore, yun nga, wherever the mean is, that's where it goes high. Diba? And look at that, it looks like a normal distribution. And then for this one, this is the geometric probability distribution that I'm talking you about. So it starts with high, then gets low as it goes by. So yan. And that's it. And praise the Lord that we're done. And we're officially done with our stats and probs. Thank the Lord, we did it. Give yourselves a big hand. Yay! Congratulations. At least you passed the test. And I just hope that you will pass the exam, because when you pass, that is the probability of success! Yay! And just wish you luck that you don't fail in this one, because I want you to pass the midterms. Thank the Lord, and now we're done. If you find this video very helpful, leave a like. And if you don't know anything about stats and probs, be sure to watch all my videos back at item number 1-1 and see my solution sheets, study it in details, and you're on your way. And don't forget, there'll still be more videos to come, especially in the next chapter when we're gonna learn about the normal distribution. So stay tuned. If you want to see some videos about that, leave a like, subscribe, share, and share with all your friends so that we can start learning about the normal distribution. So we'll see you right after this video. Bye! God bless!